What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again, guys. We have a 1998 or a 1999 Kevin Lepage diecast. I'll be talking why I don't know truly what year to classify this car as we go in the diecast review. But regardless, it's a late 90s Kevin Lepage. Let's call it that. This is the Roush Primestar car, I believe it was for Roush. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Alright folks, here we go in today's diecast review, and what an amazing card back design. I absolutely love the signature driver series card back. Just really good presentation, diecast signature on the chassis, diecast body and chassis, and then real rubber tires. Now this was one of the more obscure paint schemes of the late 90s, and let me tell you, he had some great diecast or paint schemes, Kevin Lepage. One of my all-time favorite ones for the late 90s is his TV guide car. Why? Because on the hood of that car, they would run different shows that were airing or whatever was popular. It was really cool. It reminded me a lot of the GameStop cars, how they would have different video games throughout the years. That's kind of reminds me of with the TV guide car. I thought that was pretty cool. As, you know, tradition, it's a throwback, so you're going to have a Kmart decal. I mean, it would not be a diecast from the late 90s, before the turn of the millennium, if it didn't have a Kmart decal. That's pretty cool. It does come in a resealable 164 box, but it is protected with that bubble dome. For the back panel of it, there's not much there, but the main reason for these diecasts is the front piece. This is what you would see on display, most likely. Or maybe you display them like this. I don't know. Look, that's your prerogative. I'm not here to judge. That's all for this section of the review. I'm going to go ahead and carefully open it up. All right, folks, here we go. Diecast a little bit closer to, well, getting it fully opened here. I do want to show the box here because, I mean, hey, you might be watching this diecast 5 years from now in the 2030s, which if you are, shout out to that. You might not know what these diecasts look like, and I kind of want to show each one as if you were a new viewer. Maybe you've never seen it. We do have a lot of new subscribers here on the channel as of lately, so shout out to y'all. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. God gets all the glory for it. One thing I do notice about this car is it has a metallic blue paint job, which I love metallic paint jobs. Great box design, by the way. I love how it has the same artwork as the card back, but it's done a little bit differently to accommodate, like, for instance, like right here with the little Kevin Lepage signature in that gold Sharpie style. It's there to accommodate the box design, which I really like. And it does have tape here and here. I'm going to go ahead and cut one of these open, and we'll finally get a look at the diecast. All right, folks, here we go. Brand new out of the box. It has been waiting about 26 years to, well, be opened up. And yes, it's an overproduced diecast. Don't worry. There's a lot of these floating out there. So you can see the metallic blue paint job for this car. It's really sharp. And I mentioned at the top of the video, I'm kind of confused on what year to classify this car as. I don't know what the year will be whenever I, do the video, thumbnail, and all that stuff. Oh, by the way, the hood looks really jacked up. What the biff? Speaking of biff, it's the number 16 car for Roush. You got the hood. It's, well, now I can't get it open. Dadgummit. Oh. Anyways, I'm trying not to chip the diecast. There we go. If I chipped it, well, whoops. Anyways, so in 1999, they changed the Primestar car from the blue and yellow to kind of a red, orangish looking paint scheme. I looked around and I could not find a single photo of this car on track in 1999. This is one of those diecasts that's kind of stuck between 1998 and 1999. It's not a 1998 because it doesn't have the 50th anniversary decal, right? But it's not quite a 1999 because apparently, at least from what I see, maybe I'm completely wrong on this car didn't run. I don't know what to classify it as. I'm going to probably put it as a 1999, but for future references, it was never ran. I mean, they might have had full intentions of running this car in 1999, and this might have been made in, I don't know, it could have been summertime of July when they were producing this car, because they made crap so early. Like, if Daytona testing was in January, they probably had to have this stuff out of the factory by August, right? So that's pretty darn early to get it on the boat, to get it, shipped to the States, and then distribute it to, diecast places, the racetrack, all that good jazz. So, I don't know. Let's look at the engine detail. So, forgive me if this is the wrong year I'm going to classify this as, but I truly don't know what to put. So you have the engine detail here. What's interesting is I did a diecast review on another one of these hood open signature series cars, and the engine had like rough marks all over it. Like it looked like it wasn't even trimmed. Like the plastic mold was still rough. They usually, when you do plastic molds, they shave off the rough bits and whatnot. This one looks perfect. And that rough one that I was mentioning, it even had like brown rust looking stains to the top of it. So I'm not really sure what was going on there, but it's kind of fascinating how one of them looked like it was in a junkyard and this one looks brand new. So I think the problem with the hood here is that the hinge is either bent or it's installed incorrectly. You can see how the dashboard is a little crooked there. They're usually the same module. The same piece that holds the hood is the same piece that holds the dashboard. It's kind of like one usual unit. Go at the front of the diecast, you have Taurus right there. Number 16, the good old Ford Taurus headlights. You have Roush Racing, Union 76, and I say almost said orange. The yellow is actually painted on the car. You can see a little bit of a rough transition here, and a little bit of some uncolored painting areas around the fender well. So what it appears to me is that the whole front of the car is painted, and this side right here may be a decal. I don't know. Let's see. This whole portion right here looks like it's painted. Everything else looks blue. So maybe this is a two-tone car they painted. Anyways, I appreciate the craftsmanship, but there is a little bit of some quality nuances. They don't make diecast the same way as this, like in terms of painting. They usually do one paint color and they go with it. They don't make too many two-tone painted diecast. They use decals for that. It's a lot easier, and you can see why, because there's a lot of, it kind of looks cool, like a little fade, but it's inaccurate, right? One of these cars might not have this problem. 10 of the other ones from the same production line might have the same thing or worse. That's the problem with paint masking. It's not kind of like, it's not straightforward and accurate like decals. Got the number 16 there. I've talked about this before, but anytime you have a lightly colored decal stacked on top of another decal, anything underneath it is going to show up, right? So you can see a little bit of the lines through it. That's unfortunate. It's just part of it, though. They do these decals layered, and you can even feel just a little bit of a raise right there where the number 16 is. NASCAR race car, Clevite 77 Moog, Ray Bastos, True Value, missing the Winston Cup decal, Budweiser Polo Award, and apparently the 50th anniversary logo, too. I'm kidding. You can see another portion about having just the areas of the car where they're two-tone painted. You can really see a little bit of a paint mishap there. Even on the B post, it's not as good as well. It's supposed to be simulating this yellow stripe, but it just kind of comes off a little wonky there. Got the Kevin Lepage signature there. Primestar. You have Bosch, Exide, Valvoline, Mac Tools, and some other logos. Go to the back panel of the diecast. And yet another Racing Champions diecast that doesn't have any taillight decals. For whatever reason, they're like, hey, let's be mid-2000s Team Caliber and forget taillights. For whatever reason. Love the shade of blue on this car, by the way. It is metallic, so that is very, very sharp. Like, look at the deck lid area of the car. You could really see that beautiful underwater metallic blue. Fantastic job on that. With the right side of the diecast. And, yeah, there's probably supposed to be a lot more contingencies on this car. With it being a extremely early 1999 car, apparently. Yeah, that's probably why. You can see the rubber tires. These are real rubber tires. They do have a different sheen than your traditional 164, synthetic rubber tires. So there's a little bit of difference to it, which is nice. Go to the top of the diecast, you have the number 16 there. And the blue apparently is metallic as well. It's a different shade of blue. So I don't know if it's metallic printed or it's transparent and the blue paint underneath it. I think it's probably decal printed. I don't know. But the top of the car looks nice with a little yellow there. And also on the hood, you see Primestar, but there's a little bit of a design in the background, and there is some pretty gnarly blemishes at the top of the hood piece. Go to the bottom of the diecast, you do have the Kevin Lepage signature there, and yes, this is a metal diecast base as well. It does kind of have a satin sheen to it, but it's a full metal diecast, so it's got a little bit of weight to it, not too much. And one of my quirks about these Racing Champions cars, the diecast molds, the diecast wheels, they don't really look accurate. But as I've said before, the value you get from Racing Champions diecast, going down to the store aisle and having a whole bunch of drivers that you probably don't even know much about, fresh from the Busch series, right? They had all kinds of different drivers. They even had Busch series diecasts, just back markers in the Cup series, whatever it be, rookies. And they weren't with the big brands. They weren't with Action and Winter Circle and all that stuff. They weren't with Hot Wheels. They were just starting out in NASCAR at the top level. The Racing Champions would pick them up and make the diecasts, and you would get introduced to so many different drivers, right, through the Racing Champions line, and they were more affordable than the Hot Wheels and Action Winter Circle counterparts, so it's more affordable, and you get a very unique selection of drivers. Only problem with that is, well, it's affordable for a reason. The quality is a little bit worse. And accuracy in the 1990s, this wasn't just a Racing Champions thing. This was... I've seen some of these Action Winter Circle diecast molds. Don't even get me started on their mid-90s Monte Carlos. Like, their 1998 Monte Carlo looks unbelievable. They still use that exact verbatim diecast mold to this day. Verbatim, the exact same casting. Their 97 and 96 edition of the Monte Carlo that was made in the Winter Circle line is tremendously unrealistic. It blows my mind it even got through quality control. That's how unrealistic it is. So this was not just a Racing Champions thing. This was just a 1990s diecast thing. And I'll end the video on this. What do y'all think about the diecast molds? Do y'all prefer the more quirky, molds like this, or do you prefer more of the realistic ones we would eventually get mostly in the early 2000s? One thing I will say, though, that kind of blows my mind is how Hot Wheels and Matchbox was making very, very accurate diecast as far back as the early 1970s, maybe even the late 1960s with Hot Wheels. And yet, in the 1990s, NASCAR diecasts were kind of all over the place in terms of accuracy and scale. I don't know how that happens, but it did. That's all for now. Like, comment, and subscribe. And for all your new diecast purchases, make sure to tap it over there at Circle B Diecast. Use promo code Diecastbuffet. You can save on shipping. Don't have to. They do have some older stuff over there. Tap in, see what's available. That's all for now. Diecastbuffet, signing off.